Good morning. So the other day I tried to film a Q&A whilst I was doing painting, and I just don't think it was very good, let's be honest. So I'm hoping that maybe I can sit down with you guys today and re-answer slash refilm. I was just in a weird headspace the other day when I was filming, and I just found that I was, look at all this crap. My place is an actual mess right now. Welcome to my life. Welcome to my life. And yeah, and I know I haven't been active on here for a long time, and I want to change that. So yeah, let's do that today. So I put out a Q&A on Instagram, and yeah, asked you guys to ask away. And you did. Best sexual practices for self and others. That is a question that I would love to go into greater detail into. Probably not in this video. Pleasure, self-pleasure, any kind of pleasure, orgasms, the empowerment of self through self-pleasure, or through pleasure of any type, but through self-pleasure especially, is something really, really close to my heart, and a practice that I don't share much about on here, mostly because I'm not qualified to, but it's something that I've been practicing and cultivating over the years, and something that I personally absolutely love and am really passionate about. I would actually really like to do a Tantra teacher training, or even just a Tantra retreat or workshop, just to learn more about it. I feel really called to that, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if my practice and my teachings were more like, that was more aligned with my Dharma, especially as a Scorpio. I feel like that's really powerful to me, and something that I'm really called to, really drawn to. How are you and how's life? I am good. That's a shitty answer. I am, hold on. My mask is good. But if I'm honest, I'm empty. I don't feel fulfilled. I feel as if I've disconnected, and I'm not sure exactly when that happened. Definitely over the last 2 years. Disconnected with my creativity and that light within myself. And there's moments when I feel so connected to it that it seems silly that I ever could have questioned that. And then other times it's like I'm so far away from it, it's a distant memory that seems altered because it's so far away. It makes me question how much of it was actually real and how much of it is fabricated or an illusion that not I was projecting necessarily, yes, but also like how much of it was an illusion that I was experiencing myself. Like I was illusioning everyone because I was in an illusion. Does that make sense? What is my number one health tip? I think sleep. I definitely, over the last 2 years, moving back into the family home and then out of it took me 6 months or 5.5 months to get back into a proper sleep pattern. I used to go to bed at like between like 9 and 10ish, 10:30 probably latest, and then wake up early at like 5. And I loved that because I am a morning bird. I don't like being up at night. I find that I'm like powered by the sun. So as soon as the sun goes down, I'm like, why am I awake? Like, what is the point in me being up? My brain doesn't work. It goes completely foggy and cloudy, and I find that I just kind of like walk around and do absolutely nothing, which isn't that different than what I do during the day, especially if I'm having like a woo-woo day, when ADHD takes over really bad. But those days I'm learning are necessary. It's my body telling me to enjoy that time and to take rest, whereas I don't normally listen to that. Even if I'm unproductive, I am so stressed about being unproductive, and yeah, I hadn't taken a day off. Like, working for yourself, you make your own hours, and yeah, I could probably like just condense everything that I did in a week, let's say, into like probably less than 10 hours. But because of how long it takes me to do things with my ADHD, and I don't know whether that's an excuse or whether that's a whole different story. What's my number one health tip? Sleep. Get your sleep. Yeah, I'm getting back into proper circadian rhythm now. I don't use lights at night, or like ceiling lights, which might sound really weird to people, but just moving into this place like 6 months ago, that was my thing. I was like, I don't watch TV. I sit a lot of time in front of the screen, and I have blue light glasses. I definitely don't wear those enough. And I was like, I'm one person. Like, I don't need to light up an entire everything. Like, why would I do that? So yeah, I haven't been using lights. I have a salt lamp, and I have like a selenite lamp, which is a crystal. And yeah, that creates enough light for me at night anyway. So I do that, and I shower in the dark pretty much, or I have like a sunset lamp in the bathroom if I want to turn that on. I don't know, it's kind of nice using candles and lamps, and I think that helps a lot, even though I'm still staring at screens, which is, you know, counterintuitive, but regardless, it helped me. And I also read a book. My best friend told me to read a book, Why We Sleep. I can't remember who the author is, but it's like the science behind it. So it can get quite monotonous and a little bit boring at times unless you're like really geeking out on the science behind it. I don't even think I finished that book. I think I like got 3/4 of the way through, and I was like, I get it. I need to prioritize my sleep. So 8 hours a night now is like my priority. It doesn't matter what time I get to bed at. I will make sure that I set the alarm for 8 hours. And yeah, so just over the last month, I think I've gone from like averaging 4.5 hours sleep a night, or like 4 hours sleep, to like 7.5 hours, which is like, and I now wake up early without, or like before my alarm, which I haven't done in years. So that feels really good. And yeah, so I would say that. Do you still suffer from anxiety/depression sometimes? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like just yesterday, I was just having an internal down day. So like externally, there was nothing that I needed to be unhappy about, except that it's raining, and when the sun doesn't come out, I feel like I don't come out. I feel like I just bleh. But I was just going through all the feels, and it reoccurred to me, as it often does, that anytime I feel like that, the easiest, best way, and most sustainable way to get out of that kind of funk, for me, and I think for anyone, you can tell me whether this resonates with you, is giving back, is being of service. And so it's like you become so consumed with your inner world and expectations and stresses and not being where you thought you'd be, whatever it is that's like getting you into that mental funk. It's all like a selfish, self-absorbent kind of energy. And when we're able to like reflect that out and just become mirrors, and then therefore non-attached, and non-attached doesn't mean separate. It just means like you're you just don't cling. You don't cling to it, not completely separate. It's like you become a mirror, like it comes in and it bounces back, and you take from it only that which you need to learn in order to grow and evolve. And so I'm trying to be a little bit better in that way, in that capacity in my life. And so I think I need to find ways to give back within my community, within any of the places that I'll be going this year. And I think that will definitely help, as well as connecting to your inner child. So anytime that you feel like that, it's nice, even if you have so much to do. I find anyway, especially with ADHD, that it doesn't matter how much I need to do. It's like it's almost as if like the more I need to do, the more I can't do it. And so all I need to do is like get out of my head and get out of that funk. And to do that, I like to put everything aside and feel like, you know what, even if I sat down and tried to do work right now, I wouldn't be able to do it. So instead I draw, or I paint, or I don't even know what I do. I journal a lot. I go outside and I just lay in the grass and I look up at the clouds. I've been doing that a lot. or I've got a day bed now outside on my deck. I put that together all by myself. Thank you very much. Pat on the back. Or I try funky hairstyles that remind me of being a kid, or reading a book. I actually wrote a children's book, which was pretty cool. I haven't done anything with it. It's not like getting published or anything like that, but I wrote a children's book one time when I was feeling that way. Yeah, anything that just reminds you of you and a child, or use oracle cards. Those are always really fun. Go play with an animal. Go like get dirty, literally. I've been painting walls, and you probably shouldn't get that on you, / I probably shouldn't get that on me. I brought plants back to life. I went and bought some like dying plants from, I want to say it's not really a nursery. It's not a plant recovery place either. It's just, you know, a place that has a lot of plants, and a lot of them get a little bit neglected. And so I went and bought some plants that I'm bringing back to life, and I'm looking at one right now, and I'm really proud of that because I'm able to give to it and nurture it. And at the moment, you know, I hate to be the person who's like my plant babies, but I don't have an actual baby, and I don't have a dog, and I don't know why that makes me want to cry. And I don't know whether it's because I don't have a dog or because I don't have a baby, but it makes me want to cry. Probably both. Yeah, since I was 23, I've just wanted a family. Like, I've just wanted to be a mum, and I would so happily be a single mum. I went through like the last maybe 3 months up until like a couple of weeks ago. I was like, oh, maybe I don't want to be a mum. But I think that was just doubt of whether or not, one, I want to bring a child into this world. Like, it's scary how overwhelming and quickly, like, it just feels like everything's falling apart in the world lately, like with all the floods and the war and the pandemic and everything like that. I'm like, it almost seems cruel to bring a child into the world, but I know that it's not. That's just, that was just something that I was going through at the time. And then it's like, is being a mother actually my dharma? Like, in my head and in my every cell in my being, it feels as if like when I'm a mother, that will be my purpose. Like, I'll be like, oh my God, I get it. Like, I understand now why nothing else ever seemed to like fully stick. Like, yoga helps me grow, and I love sharing my practice with other people, and that feels like my dharma. But I don't know, it feels like there's more, and I can't help but feel and attach, and I don't know why I attach to it. But yeah, like, when I can separate myself from it, I realize that I have created some kind of like emotional attachment to the fact that feels like that's what I'm meant to do. And that's a lot of responsibility, unfair responsibility for that child or children to then take on. And so, yeah, I've been a little bit conflicted with that. It's like, that's not, I'm like, is that the worst reason ever to become a mum? Probably not. There's a lot of other worse reasons, probably. I don't know. I've been overthinking it, let's say that. Again, you didn't ask me that. Do you have cellulite, and how do you prevent it? I have cellulite. Everyone has cellulite. I have a very slim body naturally, and so putting on weight over the last 2 years, cha-ching, thankfully, I feel so much healthier, and I don't feel healthier, like I don't feel any healthier, I just feel like stronger. I feel a little bit more, capable, I suppose. No, I always felt strong. I don't know, it makes me feel a bit sexier. Let's say that. But even when I was like tiny, you know, I can still smush my legs and get cellulite. That's human. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't bother me at all. However, though, so I don't know how you prevent it. I don't think anyone knows how you prevent it other than just, you know, treating yourself right. So not preventing cellulite, but preventing yourself from thinking that you shouldn't have cellulite. Up in here. And part of that is just treating yourself right physically as well. So, you know, exercising, because you love your body and you're nurturing it in that way because it feels good to, not because you want to punish yourself. Any new exciting projects? Yes, definitely new and exciting projects. Whew, there's a lot going on there. Hold on, I have to pee. Not that anyone asked, but I love this plant. I love it so much. And it's starting to like grow out. Look at it. Ah. And I got these little plant clips where you like attach them to the wall and then you can, yeah, it grows up. I'm loving being a plant mummy. I got these ones, which I propagated from that plant. And these ones, this one's dying, don't look at him. Same thing. And then, yeah, here's my very messy house. I swear, my house is normally so clean. Tom came over, the next door neighbor came over the other day. He was like, what is with all of this? And I was like, yeah, I have no comment. It's homeware, like these are stuff that I have to put together, like shelves and stuff, and that is a desk for what I've been working on. How's my toilet? For this room. So I'm turning this into a study. It was like blue walls, which is what I originally started filming in here for. I don't like that it echoes, but look at well, it's not mine, but there's a cow's butt. Yeah, because I'm gonna be doing so many retreats this year, I think. I'm trying to plan them all out now and plan out my year. And I don't exactly like winter. I mean, it's still very warm here and I'm already wearing a jumper, which by the way, I love this jumper. How slick is it? Yeah, I think I should probably put my house up for rent, just so that, you know, I'm not, one, it's looked after, and two, I'm not paying mortgage when I'm not even using it. And I think it'd be nice to have someone else in my space. Yeah, I'm thinking of putting this place up for rent, doing a lot more retreats this year, probably base myself out of, if I can, I'm currently in the process of reapplying for my US visa because it ended over COVID. And it's not like a license. You don't get a follow up. Like they don't send you an email and they're like, hey, just letting you know that your visa is about to expire. None of that. And so I missed it by a month just because I wasn't traveling and looking at my passport, therefore my visa. And it expired. I have to go through the whole process again and it is oh, my other exciting new projects. Okay, I've also been creating something for the past 2 years. And I can't believe that it hasn't actually come out yet. But I can because that's just, you know, that's just where we're at. And it has been such a big learning process for me. Such a big learning process, like in so many different ways. And I cannot wait to be able to share that with you, but I'm unable to share it with you yet. But it is very, very exciting and literally thought it was going to break me at some point. So like when I say, oh, I'm gonna cry. When I say that I have put absolutely everything into this, like, ooh. So there's that. There's the house, doing mini renovations, painting, that kind of thing. There's, yeah, getting myself overseas again, visa situation, and then retreats, and possibly one or two other things that are like in the pipeline that I haven't dedicated myself to doing yet. I mean, I've mentally dedicated myself, but I haven't like started those things yet. But yeah, I don't know, I feel like I just need to break out and like do the shit that I've always wanted to be doing and that I'm meant to be doing. But I also need to trust the process. So I'm caught somewhere in between. Can a relationship bounce back from cheating? I'm not a relationship expert. I'm not a psychologist. And yeah, I think it would completely depend on the relationship and the people involved in that relationship. And depends on their mood when you ask them. Like if you had asked me that question like 2 years ago, I would have said, hell no. Like cheating is cheating. Once a cheater, always a cheater. There's no excuse for it. Yeah, but I I think cheating just implies, or it just shows the disconnect in the like the area in the relationship that needs work on. And I think if two people are willing to be completely, like absolutely completely vulnerable and communicate with crystal clear clarity about exactly what they're experiencing and what they did, why they did what they did. Yeah, but I think it also requires, you know, a point of understanding, forgiveness or softness on the other person's behalf, but also they need to accept some responsibility, I think. It would depend on the situation, but I can see how in like a classic or stereotypical situation where, like, let's say the dude cheats on the woman, yeah, to be like, well, what weren't you receiving? What did you feel was lacking for you to do that? Was it just like, you know, physical touch? Was it just, was he potentially just like immature and unable to control his own needs at the time? Or like, yeah, it's very different as well between age groups. Like when young guys cheat all the time and stuff like that, I'm like, ugh, like he's just immature. But when a man does it, and a man who is emotionally, well, yeah, like able to express himself emotionally and like isn't afraid to be in his feminine and explore and discuss what he did, why he did it, what he's been feeling. I think I think it's a two-way thing. So I'm assuming maybe you've been cheated on and you don't know whether to forgive them. I can't tell you whether you should or shouldn't. No one can or should be able to tell you whether you should or shouldn't. That's entirely up to you. But as a woman, your gut is always right at the same time. So if you feel as if, yeah, he's not able to, or they're not able to come forward and have that conversation that is so necessary to bring closure to that situation, yeah. But like I was saying, like with relationships, I think I'm now beginning to believe that they should be more fluid, and that, yeah, there should be the flexibility for things to change and shift at any time. So like if you go into a monogamous relationship, let's say, and you are purely committed to each other, at any point it should be like, hey, I'm not feeling valued in this way, or I feel as if I am curious about other things. Like that should be a conversation that is respected and able to be had, in my opinion. So yeah, it's entirely up to you, babe. Probably enough. I think this is a really long video already. I'm gonna leave it at that. Thanks for joining me. I'm sorry for being MIA for so long. Like I said, I've just had a creative flunk. Bloop. There's been nothing for a long time. And it's been progressively getting worse. And yeah, I think YouTube has probably copped the most of that. Also Instagram. I barely post like pictures and stuff like that anymore, because I found it was boring to do shoots, and definitely didn't have the inclination to go out and shoot myself like I used to. So I just did it. Yeah, and I'm sorry if you guys have felt disconnected because of that. I felt disconnected too. And it is my mission, I can probably say this every time I get back on YouTube, is to, yeah, be on here, be more present on here, because I do truly enjoy sharing with you. And I'm hoping that one of my projects, the big one, will help me, yeah, to create a closer connection with community. Like we can create our own community and be able to hold each other accountable on there and in that way as well. So I'm very much looking forward to that. Okay, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Bye.